It's that time again. It's time for another Saturday night special where we talk about everything rockhounding related. Well, this past week I threw up a video polishing this thing. Well, kind of polishing, right? Like, not the, but you see, like there's some, that little scuff. I had a hard time with this, right? I was using the Richardson's high-speed sander. Let's see, there's my light. I was using my Richardson's high-speed sander, and I wasn't getting the results that I wanted out of that Obsidian. Now, I make no claim to be an expert lapidary artist. There's a lot of people out there, right? They have a lot more knowledge and a lot more experience than myself. And it sure is great when I have the privilege to be able to chat with some of these people, because, you know, like, there's a lot of really great geology books, okay? There's some semi-decent rockhounding books. I've yet to find a good lapidary book that really, like, covers everything. A lot of what I've seen mostly focuses on jewelry. So really, we're kind of at this point where I think it's really person-to-person communication, you know? And as far as the high-speed sander goes, there's not a lot of good information out there, actually, right? So there's pretty much some bad forum posts that really mislead people about them. Well, I've been talking to this guy who lives down in Oregon. He has a channel that he's kind of been posting some videos to, Steven's Rocks, and it's great. It's a great channel. And he has so much experience with the high-speed sander. He's been helping me out, giving me advice, thoughts, comments, suggestions, you know. So I've been really improving with it. And the more I use this thing, the happier I am with it. Probably going to do an update video. I've made some changes to it. I've learned a lot of stuff. Go check out his channel. I'll drop a link down below. But it's great. But I think I'm going to be able to do the Obsidian, right? I have some things that I got to practice. I'm going to try, but it should be good. I want to be able to high-speed polish Obsidian. I'm not taking no for an answer. It's going to happen. I was going through some of my rocks this past week, and so one of the last things, if you watch the channel much, so I polished this Thunder Egg, which is quite good, and I was looking through some of the stuff. You want to see the first rock I ever polished? Okay, so years ago, right, myself and Sarah, I found this piece of jasper on one of our first rockhounding trips in the Tillamook State Forest in Oregon, and got a tile saw, and I cut it, and that's what it looked like on the inside. I was like, I don't know. And then I had a 2x72-inch KMG belt grinder. So I was making fixed blade knives at the time for like a hobby, and I was like, well, I'm going to try to polish that thing up, and that's as good as I could get on it. Quite the difference. First pancake, last pancake. So I could polish this up now, but I think I'm going to keep it just as like a, you know, the progress report, I guess. You know, you can look at them and be like, everybody, you got to start somewhere, right? We took a little drive this week. There is a book that I have, On the Trail of Ice Age Floods. Now, I don't expect many people to... Can we do this? Can we do this? No. I don't expect many people to go out and buy this book. It's really something that's really only good if you live in Northeast Washington. It's an exceptionally good book. It is so well researched. Now, if you're not familiar, this geological area is primarily basalt, right? Like, if you're in Northeast Washington and you like go south and west, it's just basalt. Like, 15 to 13 million years ago, basalt floods like covered everything, right? Like 15,000 years ago, we were experiencing the Missoula floods, giant floods that went from like glacial Lake Missoula. We had glacial Lake Columbia, but you know, we have all this like lobes from the Okanagan ice sheet coming in, blocking, creating ice dams, big lakes filled up inland, and that stuff flooded across Washington, ripping everything away. And we have some of the most beautiful landscapes here. You know, we have the rolling Luss Hills of the Palouse. We have the channeled Scablands. Two beautiful landscapes I don't think really anybody thinks about. So in this book, right, there's all these like hikes and stuff and like different things to go and do. Well, you know, we went and did, there's some drives in the back here, right? We went and did the Cheney Palouse Track Drive. So we went and drove 130-mile loop, where it's great. So it's really something you want to do with two people, and it's like things to look at every single like decent mile marker on it, and it's all geological features. You know, we stopped and looked at the Mima Mounds, which that's something that we've looked at many times, but it's super cool to see, you know, just the dotting of them on the landscape. And there's a lot of like bad information about Mima Mounds out there. People really think there's something that they're not. I mean, the basics of it is that if you have like a rock, if you put like some rocks or like some plant or like a tumbleweed got stuck in the mud, and dirt blew up against it, I mean, now you got a little mound, and then plants grow and they trap more dirt and they just like like build out. That's the gist of Mima Mounds. But it's cool to see them dot the landscape out here. So, you know, fly around, take some photos, look at some road cuts. There's some very interesting road cuts mentioned here. Not really so much from a rockhounding perspective, but it's still important to go out and learn your local geology. I mean, you have no idea what it's going to clue you in on. And I'll give you an example of that. Okay, so, you know, we're driving around, we're stopping at some of these road cuts because there is something there very interesting. So we have these huge floods coming across the state, ripping all the dirt away, ripping everything down to bedrock, stripping away the top of basalt flows. It's an epic story, too big for the Saturday night special. But there's some little like islands of Luss in the channeled Scablands that were high enough that you it wasn't hit by the floods. It's just the water went around them, right? And so the material there goes back way farther, and these road cuts look pretty cool. And this is some of what I picked up there. Now you're probably looking at this being like, oh, what the heck is that? This is some caliche. Caliche, whatever. Tomato, caliche. I'm going to go with that. So this is a compressed carbonate material. I don't know much about it, but I'm going to, you know, we can just even maybe break it, and then I'll probably put that under the microscope and see if there's anything interesting in that, and have some caliche for the collection for later reference. But it's good to be able to drive around, look at the road cuts, look at all the stuff, you know. Maybe it's just me, but I don't know many people that take drives for fun. Like, what happened to that? Like, I think it used to be a bigger thing than what it is, but there's a bunch of drives that you can take on this, a bunch of hikes, all kinds of great stuff. If you live in Northeast Washington, consider picking that thing up. When we were out there, you know, we're just pulling over, we're looking around, walking around. It's interesting. There's what I like to call road opal. So, road opal. Okay, here's the thing. So, wherever there's gravel, for the most part, in Northeast Washington, and I don't know, probably in that, like, Cheney, Palouse, like Pullman, Spokane, out towards like Odessa and stuff, you look at the gravel, right? Where like the county has like gone and quarried. They're hitting. They're hitting seams of opal in their rock quarries, and wherever there's gravel, you can find opal. And it's always interesting to find decent-sized little chunks of opal. I mean, there's not a lot you can do with it, like, but you know, some of it, like this piece right here, is certainly more stable than most. But it's interesting to see our opal situation where it's just hanging out in the roads. Just pull over, pick around. You can often find a couple little pieces. Got some rocks mailed in this week. Viewer of the channel, friend, associate. So these are, I don't know if I should say his name. I don't know. These are from a claim out in Montana, and the owner was kind enough to send me a couple of pieces of this seam agate, and it looks lovely. Look at that. It'll be fun. I want to grind on this some and see what this kind of looks like without the host rock on it. See if it really is that blue, because your eyes will play tricks on you. They certainly will. But it's pretty beautiful stuff. I want to probably cut some of this and see what we can't get going. So that's very nice to have. I also did some cutting on my saw this week. Did some little bit of cutting on the saw. You know, I cut this thunder egg. Now this is kind of a weird shaped thunder egg, right? And this is what we have ended up with, unpolished right now. And that's what we have. So these are not actually cracks. Well, they probably were at one point, but they've fully healed, and there is no crack there whatsoever, which is interesting. I might give these guys a polish this week. I think they might look good. And Richardson's Thunder Eggs, Richardson's Ranch Thunder Eggs take an epic polish. So that's always nice to have. Two things about this past week. New articles up on the website. Go check it out, currently rockhounding.com. Speaking of websites, Kyle, World of Rockhounds, he put up his own personal website. Now, I'm a fan of personal websites. Like, it used to be that's how you interacted with people. Like, people had a GeoCities account, they had an AngelFire website. You know, you had a personal website. Now, of course, that's all been replaced with like Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and all of that. I like the personal website. But so Kyle has a website now, which is cool. You go check it out. I'll drop a link down below. He teaches lapidary classes, and he's got some of the info up there as well. I'm hoping to be able to make my way towards him this summer, and I'm going to take a class from him, learn some things. You know, I feel like I'm pretty good with like researching geology, researching rockhounding locations, like all of that stuff. Some of the lapidary aspects I struggle with. So maybe having that hands-on kind of help would be good. So, well, I think I'm going to leave this one here. Oh, this coming week, we're going to be returning to some of the earlier spots. One in particular that's been on my radar for a little bit now. I would like to be able to go back to the spots that I first filmed at and take all new videos, you know, like the spots that were like 3 years ago, like filming at these locations. I didn't know what I was doing as far as what made for a good video. And, you know, some of the old videos they're rough. They're rough to look at. You know, it's like, imagine that embarrassing photo that you had of yourself as a kid, going through school, that awkward stage. And now imagine it's a video and it's on the internet for everyone to see. So I'm not going to take them down, but we're going to slowly work through some of the locations, go back, revisit with fresh eyes, knowing so much more. And that's one of the videos coming up here. So, now we're leaving it here. All right, everybody. Y'all take care. Go check out the website. Go check out the links down below. And I will catch you guys on the next video.